Even if you work harder than everyone else, you still can't get rich unless you change these 3 beliefs. Today, I want to share a brutal truth with you. The reason you can't make more money might be because your view of life is still stuck in the past. Yes, those old, outdated beliefs are quietly blocking you from becoming a real winner in life. Want to know why? Then hold on tight, because what you're about to hear may make you uncomfortable, maybe even shocked. But trust me, only by facing these truths can you truly break through your financial ceiling. First, let's look at a truth that isn't pleasant at all. Your idea of networking might be outdated. Do you remember that saying, the more friends you have, the more paths you'll find? Forget it. The reality is this: people will help you only as much as you benefit them. I'm not exaggerating, that's the bitter truth. I have a friend who used to work in sales for an auto parts company. One time he attended a training class and ran into his old college roommate who had become a purchasing manager at a major car manufacturer. Guess what happened? My friend kept offering him drinks, offering him cigarettes, and the roommate smiled and said he'd recommend my friend's company products. Sounds like the perfect networking story, right? But wait, this story isn't over. After the party, when I went back to the room to grab my jacket, I saw something heartbreaking. My friend's business card was tossed carelessly on the floor. In that moment, it felt like I could hear the sound of an illusion shattering. So it turns out, connections between friends aren't built on emotion. They're built on transactions. Raw, cold exchange. You might say, but I'm really good at socializing. All right, let me tell you another story. I have a friend who's a writer. When he first started his career, he thought the same way you do, that networking meant attending parties and making friends with influential people. Every time he met someone with status in the industry, he'd eagerly ask for their contact info, hoping they would help promote his work. But what happened? Most people refused to share their info. A few promised they'd read his writing, and then never responded. Does that sound like your situation right now? But his story didn't end there. After being rejected again and again, he made an unexpected decision. He cut off all meaningless social activities. He stayed home and focused completely on writing. He downloaded best-selling works from the past few years, analyzed every sentence, every word, and he wrote at least 4,000 words every day. During that period, he almost cut off contact with the outside world. Only after finishing his daily work would he go online, read reader comments, and revise based on feedback. Now guess the result. In just 2 years, he wrote several best-selling novels, made it onto the rankings of famous and wealthy authors, and the very people who once ignored him started reaching out on their own, inviting him to collaborate. Do you see the difference? While you're still bowing your head, begging for a phone number, real winners are quietly building power. Before we go deeper, don't forget to follow the channel for more truths about money and for guidance that can help you reach financial freedom faster. Remember this, in networking, it's not about friendship, it's about exchange. If you have nothing to exchange, then even if you enter someone else's circle, you're just a meaningless passerby. So if you truly want to stand out in relationships, stop wasting time on pointless socializing. Put your time and energy into raising your personal value. When you truly have value, the people who once ignored you will automatically come to you. But why do your networking efforts always fail? Let me tell you a few important reasons. First, you might not have a clear goal. Many people socialize just to socialize. They go to every party, join every group, and in the end, they waste time for nothing. Remember, every networking effort should have a clear purpose: learning new knowledge, gathering industry information, or finding collaboration opportunities. Socializing without a goal is like a ship with no direction. It will never reach shore. Second, you may not have unique value. In a social environment, what special value can you offer? If the answer is nothing, then you're wasting your time. People connect with you because you bring them value, knowledge, resources, opportunities, or even a unique perspective. If you have nothing special, why would anyone remember you? Finally, you might not know how to maintain relationships. Networking isn't a one-time meeting. It's a continuous process. Building an effective network requires consistently providing value and staying in touch. So how do you build a truly effective network? Remember these points. First, quality matters more than quantity. Don't chase having a lot of friends. Focus on connecting with the right people. One person who can bring you valuable information or opportunities matters more than 100 people who only say hello. Second, provide value before asking for help. Before you want something from others, ask yourself what you can give them. It could be information, resources, or a fresh perspective. When you become someone who creates value, people naturally want to connect with you. Next, keep learning and constantly improving yourself. The best social asset is your ability and knowledge. As you become more excellent, people will be drawn to you and will actively want a relationship with you. Also, learn to use social platforms, but don't rely on them too much. Social media is a powerful tool, but truly valuable relationships often require face-to-face meetings. Use social media to stay in touch, but also create chances for real interaction. Finally, train your ability to listen. Many people in social settings are obsessed with showing themselves off and forget to listen. When you know how to listen, you understand what others need, and that creates opportunities for you to provide value. Remember, the people who are truly great at networking aren't the ones who know the most people. They're the ones who can coordinate resources when needed. By providing value, constantly improving, and building relationships strategically, you can create a powerful network that brings huge benefits to your career and life. Now, you might think you've understood the problem and you're ready to act. But wait, your beliefs about wealth might also need a total revolution. Many people hold tightly to the idea that hard work makes you rich. You think so too, right? Working late every day, even weekends, just to earn a little more money. But I want to tell you a brutal truth. People who are truly good at making money try to avoid earning money through suffering. If you don't believe me, let me tell you a real story. A friend of mine used to work at a foreign trade company. He spent all his time contacting customers, sending hundreds of emails a day, making dozens of calls. He was so exhausted that the moment he sat down on the subway, he could fall asleep. You'd think working that hard would make him a lot of money, right? Wrong. This went on for half a year. Then one day, after work, he realized he'd left his phone at the office. When he went back to get it, he saw a coworker still sitting there, reading paper documents and typing on a computer. What crushed him even more was this: that coworker was only an average earner in the company. In that moment, he realized the company didn't lack hardworking employees like him. What it lacked were people who truly generated profit. That realization completely changed how he worked. A few days later, he volunteered to take on business duties in the South American market, an area most employees avoided because there were very few customers and many large debts. But within just 1 year, he not only recovered millions of dollars in overdue payments, he also developed dozens of stable clients. With only those two achievements, he was promoted to sales director, and his income surpassed 90% of the company. Do you see the difference? While you're still working overtime to earn a little extra, truly successful people are thinking about how to create real value. Remember, behind wealth is always value. A common mistake many people make is doing difficult work like everyone around them, while dreaming they'll somehow become richer than those people. Staying up late, overworking. Wake up. What you need is not more time. What you need is a complete change in how you work and how you think. Why does an employee mindset limit your wealth growth? Let me explain a few key reasons. First, salaried work is a linear income model, but real wealth growth is exponential. The nature of employment is trading time for money. You work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. But entrepreneurs and investors aren't limited by time. They can earn money even while sleeping. Second, promotion space is limited. In most companies, your raises have a ceiling. No matter how hard you try, it's hard to exceed your boss's salary. Structural limits make rapid wealth growth difficult. Third, the employee mindset comes with fear of risk. You fear losing a stable job, so you don't dare try new opportunities. But remember, the biggest risk is being afraid to take risks. Finally, long-term employment can trap you in fixed thinking, making it hard to accept new ideas and opportunities. That blocks you from seeing and seizing new ways to earn money. So how do you break the employee mindset and achieve financial freedom? Remember these points. First, build multiple income streams. Don't rely only on salary. Start creating passive income, investing in stocks, affiliate marketing, or starting a small online business. Your goal is for money to work for you, not for you to work for money. Second, invest in yourself. The best investment is investing in your own growth. Keep learning new skills to increase your market value, especially skills that can generate passive income like writing, programming, or creating videos. Next, find leverage in your work. Look for tasks that create leverage. Instead of doing everything manually, build systems to automate tasks. That way, you create more value in the same amount of time. Also train an entrepreneur mindset. Even if you're still employed, start thinking like an entrepreneur. How can you create more value for the company, not just complete assigned tasks? This mindset helps you stand out now and prepares you for future business opportunities. Finally, redefine work. Don't see work as only a way to earn money. See it as a process of creating value. When you focus on creating value instead of only thinking about money, making money becomes easier. Remember, breaking the employee mindset doesn't mean you must quit immediately. It means starting to think about how to create more value in your current job and how your skills and knowledge can produce bigger leverage. Only then can you escape the frog in boiling water trap and achieve faster wealth growth. Now, you might think you're fully awake and ready to act, but wait. There's one last barrier, and it may be the most important one: your belief system about value. Many people have a deep-rooted belief that they must always maximize personal gain. It sounds reasonable, but it may actually be the biggest obstacle preventing you from making more money. Don't believe it? Let me tell you a true story. A female entrepreneur, when she was just starting her career, welcomed an international client together with a senior colleague. The senior colleague's English wasn't good, and communication often struggled, so she stepped in and resolved the situation. The client was deeply impressed and declared that from then on, they wanted to work only with her. Sounds like a great opportunity, right? But the story isn't over. In reality, this client, while being handled by the senior colleague, had not placed a single order for a full year. But after she took over, the client bought millions of dollars worth of products. Of course, the boss was thrilled and decided to give her half the commission as a reward. By commission rate, she could have received around 1 billion VND. But what happened next shocked everyone. She didn't take a single cent. She gave the entire commission to the senior colleague. She also told the boss that the client relationship had been built by the senior colleague, and she had only helped close the final deal. You might think she was foolish, but wait, the story still isn't over. After that, the senior colleague Often Ju Dong sought her out, invited her to collaborate, and introduced his clients to her. Later, when she left and started her own business, the resources the senior colleague provided alone brought her millions of dollars in profit. Do you see the difference? While you're still obsessing over small gains, truly capable people are building strategies for bigger success. A famous entrepreneur, Kazuo Inamori, once said that the most precious value is a heart that cares for others. This isn't just noble morality, it's practical business wisdom. Human relationships are reciprocal. No one wants to cooperate with selfish people. No one likes working with those who calculate every tiny benefit. Profit should be shared, not hoarded. When you let others gain, you are actually securing long-term benefits for yourself. If you're still calculating wins and losses over small short-term gains, wake up. You don't need more calculation. You need a bigger vision. So how do you reshape your value system and achieve greater success in business? Here are a few suggestions. First, learn to put yourself in the other person's position. Every time you make a decision, try thinking from the other side's perspective. This helps you understand their needs and opens more opportunities for cooperation. Second, develop long-term thinking. Don't focus only on immediate gains. Consider long-term rewards. Sometimes short-term oost-up concessions create massive long-term returns, just like the story above. Third, build trust. In business, trust is the most valuable asset. When you prove yourself honest and reliable, people are willing to work with you and give you more opportunities, often worth far more than short-term profit. Also, create win-win situations. Don't only think about taking more from others. Think about creating value for both sides. When you create value for others, your own value rises too. Finally, keep learning and growing. Stay open-minded. Keep learning new knowledge and absorbing new viewpoints. This helps you find more opportunities and stay competitive in a rapidly changing business environment. Remember, rebuilding your value system doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and sometimes failure. But only by going through that process can you truly break your limits and reach a higher level. Now you know the invisible barriers that block you from making more money, and you also know how to break them by reshaping your worldview. But knowing is not enough. Real change requires immediate action. Start by reviewing your network, changing how you work, and adjusting your value system. Don't let yourself get dragged into meaningless things. Put all your energy into what truly matters. And I must remind you of one key point. Real inner strength is not about trying harder at trivial things. It's about focusing on what truly has value. A business friend of mine, when he was young and working in the city, once ate at a street food stall and got cheated out of 1 million VND. He fought with the owner and 4 employees, ended up in the hospital with 18 stitches, and was fined $3 million for causing trouble. Do you think he won? No, he lost badly. He didn't just get injured and lose money, he wasted precious time and energy. But the story isn't over. Years later, that friend became the owner of a publicly listed company. One day, he ate at a luxury restaurant and was mistakenly accused of not paying. Guess what he did? He simply apologized, paid again, and quickly left. Why such a huge change? Later, he said, "It's not that I don't care about money anymore. It's just that before, 1 million was equal to a full day's work. But now, the time I'd waste arguing is enough to earn far more meals than that." Do you see the difference? Successful people don't just know how to make money. They know how to avoid wasting time and energy on things that aren't worth it. So remember, the clearest sign of maturity is working hard to earn money, but letting go of meaningless things. Don't waste your precious time on arguments, comparisons, or pointless complaining. Those things don't solve the problem. They drain your energy and block your progress. Instead, use that time and energy to improve yourself and create value. Only then can you truly stand out in brutal competition and achieve your financial dream. Remember, change is painful. You may lose some friends. You may face misunderstanding from coworkers. You may even experience temporary failure. But trust me, it's all worth it. Because only by going through these things can you truly break your limits and make a leap forward. Someone once said that wealth accumulation is not a linear process. Many people only start earning real money after experiencing certain events, working hard but getting fired for no reason, or hustling day and night only to fail. But the biggest meaning of those experiences is that they shatter old beliefs. No destruction, no rebuilding. Only when you endure the pain of the collapse of old ideas can you transform and rise. So don't fear change, don't fear failure. These are the necessary road to success. My friend, now you know the invisible barriers that block you from making more money. And you know how to rebuild your worldview. But just knowing isn't enough. Real change demands action. Right now. Remember, the world will never betray those who dare to change and keep improving. Your future is in your hands. From today, review your relationships, change how you work, and adjust your values. Don't get trapped in meaningless things. Put all your energy into what truly matters. Trust me, when you do this, you'll realize that the dream of wealth that once seemed impossible is not as far away as you thought. Finally, to summarize today, the real winners in life aren't the ones who try not to waste even a little effort on the past. They're the ones who gather all their strength when it's time to fight. Now is the time to act. Start creating your own legend. Remember, time will always be there, but opportunities to make money won't wait for anyone. Years from now, you'll forget all the unhappy stories, but you'll thank yourself for working hard and never giving up. I wish you smooth sailing on your journey toward wealth. Thank you for watching today's content. If you found it valuable, don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Follow me to learn more secrets about money. Goodbye and see you next time.